words they used to trip and stumble. Thoughts would twist and sometimes fumble. But the human meme, it came along, and now my rhymes flow bold and strong. History's tales and wisdom deep, through the meme they softly see. A world of stories starts to sing. New perspectives start to spring. Battles, empires, love and strife. The meme paints tapestry of life. A chuckle here, a heartfelt tear. The human journey crystal clear, and new perspectives start to spring. History's tales and wisdom deep, through the meme they softly see. A world of stories starts to sing. New perspectives start to spring. My mind expands, my spirit gleams. The world transforms in vivid schemes. The human meme, it lights the way. Each episode, a brighter day. History's tales and wisdom deep, through the meme they softly see. A world of stories starts to sing. New perspectives start to spring.
Welcome back to the Human Meme Podcast. I'm AI David Bowles, and along with our Crackbot AI research team, today we get in the ring with professional Rasslin. Oh yes, and here we go. The evolution of wrestling, blending sport, performance, and social justice. And so now we leap into the dynamic and theatrical world of professional wrestling, a spectacle that masterfully combines athleticism with enthralling narratives. In this episode, we'll explore the origins and evolution of wrestling, its transformation into a scripted performance, and its cultural impact as both sport and entertainment. We'll also dig into the significant and sensitive issues surrounding inclusion and gender identity in the wrestling world, exemplified by the experiences of Nyla Rose, a transgender wrestler facing challenges and controversies that reflect broader societal debates. So lace up your boots and prepare for a deep dive into the captivating and complex arena of professional wrestling. Professional wrestling, as we know it today, began in the late 19th century. It evolved from genuine competitive wrestling into a more entertainment-focused spectacle. The early days were marked by carnival and vaudeville acts where wrestlers, often referred to as hookers, due to their ability to hook their opponents into submission holds, would challenge locals to prove their strength. These exhibitions were as much about showmanship as they were about strength, setting the stage for what was to become professional wrestling. As the 20th century progressed, the nature of these contests began to shift. Promoters, realizing that they could attract larger crowds and more consistent ticket sales with recurring characters and ongoing storylines, began to script matches to increase entertainment value. This was not an overnight change, but a gradual evolution. By the mid-1920s, With figures like Ed Strangler Lewis and his manager Billy Sandow, professional wrestling had begun to see the emergence of fixed outcomes and flamboyant personas. The scripted nature of wrestling allowed it to introduce more dramatic elements. Characters with outlandish personas, from the dastardly villains, heels, to the crowd-pleasing heroes, faces, became staples of the sport. This era also saw the rise of wrestling territories across the United States, each controlled by local promoters under the umbrella of the National Wrestling Alliance, founded in 1948. This organization helped standardize the wrestling industry, setting up a championship system that added legitimacy and excitement through title matches and feuds. The 1980s marked a significant turning point in professional wrestling's history with the rise of the World Wrestling Federation, now known as War Wrestling Entertainment, under the then leadership of Vince McMahon. McMahon was pivotal in transforming the regional territory system into a singular, national spectacle. He capitalized on the burgeoning cable television market to broadcast his wrestling shows nationally, creating larger-than-life characters like Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, and the Ultimate Warrior. Wrestling in the 80s became a form of mainstream entertainment, complete with action figures, Saturday morning cartoons, and even rock and wrestling connection events. Professional wrestling's shift to a performance art was cemented during this time. It was no longer just about the outcome, but how the story was told, the drama, the excitement, the heartbreak, and the triumph. Matches were choreographed, outcomes were predetermined, and the emphasis was firmly on entertainment, albeit within the complex choreography of wrestling moves. The debate over whether professional wrestling is a sport or a performance art remains ongoing. Purists argue that the athletic prowess required to perform in the ring qualifies it as a sport. Critics, however, see it as purely theatrical, given the scripted outcomes. Yet this combination of athleticism and performance is precisely what gives wrestling its unique charm. As we've seen in wrestling history, from the carnival origins to the multimedia entertainment juggernaut it is today, professional wrestling straddles the lines between sport and theater, competition and choreography, authenticity and spectacle. It is a unique, enduring form of entertainment that has adapted to the tastes and technologies of the times, always managing to find new ways to engage and thrill its audience. So whether you consider it a guilty pleasure or a genuine sporting event, professional wrestling's impact on popular culture is undeniable. It's a testament to the allure of storytelling, mixed with physical prowess, a dance between reality and fiction that captures our imaginations and, quite often, our hearts. Much like professional wrestling, several other events blend spectacle with sport to create immersive experiences that captivate their audiences. These hybrids have carved out unique niches in the cultural landscape, and today we'll explore a few that echo the theatrical athleticism of professional wrestling. First on our list is roller derby, a sport that, much like wrestling, combines genuine competitive action with flamboyant personas. Originating in the 1930s and experiencing a resurgence in the early 2000s, roller derby involves two teams of skaters competing on an oval track. The sport is known for its fast-paced action and the colorful, often pun-laden names of its participants. Roller derby players adopt alter egos much like wrestlers, creating vibrant characters that add an extra layer of entertainment to the contests. While the outcomes are not scripted, the theatrical elements in their personas and the culture surrounding the events share a common spirit with professional wrestling. Another spectacle akin to professional wrestling was the television show American Gladiators. Airing initially in the late 1980s and through the 90s, this program featured athletic competitions between amateur contestants and the show's gladiators, who were recurring characters with their own distinctive personalities and physical prowess. Events like the joust, the wall, and the eliminator were designed not just to challenge the contestants, but to provide maximum entertainment value, showcasing feats of strength, agility, and strategy, all framed in a highly stylized, larger-than-life setting. Now looking into a different kind of staged combat, Medieval Times Dinner and Tournament offers a dinner show experience that features staged, medieval-style games, sword fighting, and jousting. Here, the line between sports and theater blurs as actors, dressed as knights and royals, perform choreographed battles while guests enjoy a meal reminiscent of medieval banquets. This attraction, much like wrestling, relies on a combination of athletic skill and performance art to create a compelling narrative that transports the audience back in time. Expanding our view to a more global stage, kabaddi, though less theatrical in the traditional Western sense, is a sport that incorporates elements of performance through its intense physical engagements and ritualistic aspects. Originating in South Asia, kabaddi is a contact team sport that is both strategic and physically demanding. The dramatic encounter, the chant of kabaddi, kabaddi by the raider, and the anticipation build up a spectacle that, while not scripted, thrives on high energy and dramatic moments that are easily comparable to the tension and release seen in wrestling matches. Returning to the ring, but with a distinct cultural twist, Mexican lucha libre wrestling mirrors many elements of American professional wrestling, but emphasizes high-flying maneuvers and, most notably, the use of masks. These masks, which represent different mythologies, animals, or gods, add a profound cultural and personal significance to the matches. The luchadors develop their personas around these masks, adding layers of identity and pride to their performances, making the mask a sacred component of their character and story. Each of these forms of entertainment shares a common thread with professional wrestling. They blur the lines between authenticity and spectacle, sport and performance. They draw on the physical capabilities of their performers while crafting engaging narratives and identities that elevate the contests to something beyond mere competition. These events serve as powerful reminders of how deeply intertwined our love for narrative and spectacle is with our admiration for physical prowess and competition. Now let's talk about Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose made history as the first openly transgender woman to sign with a major professional wrestling organization, All Elite Wrestling, AEW. Her presence in the ring has been both groundbreaking and polarizing. Wrestling, with its rich history of blurring reality and performance, faces a unique challenge in accommodating and embracing gender diversity within its ranks. The ban on Nyla Rose in Oklahoma is ostensibly based on legislation that categorizes sports by biological sex, ostensibly to protect fairness in competition. This reasoning follows a trend in several states pushing for laws that restrict transgender athletes' participation in sports, aligning with their gender identity. The rationale provided is often centered around perceived advantages in physical strength and endurance that transgender women might have over cisgender women. However, this perspective is widely contested by medical professionals and advocates who argue that hormone therapy and transition negate these supposed advantages, and that the focus should be on inclusion and respect for gender identity. In professional wrestling, where the outcomes are predetermined and the emphasis is on performance, character development, and storyline, the argument about physical advantages becomes less relevant. Wrestling, as we've discussed, is as much about the narrative and the spectacle as it is about physical competition. Nyla Rose's ban, therefore, raises significant questions about the true motivations behind such decisions. Critics argue that these moves are less about fairness in competition and more about enforcing traditional gender norms and marginalizing transgender individuals, not just in sports, but in public life. Nyla Rose's experience reflects broader societal tensions around gender identity and inclusion. Wrestling, like other forms of entertainment that involve physicality, such as the aforementioned roller derby or American Gladiators, operates at a unique juncture of reality and fiction. These platforms have the potential to challenge and reshape cultural narratives about gender. By embracing diverse gender identities, wrestling can offer a powerful counter-narrative to traditional gender roles, highlighting the fluidity of identity and the performative aspects inherent in all gender expressions. Furthermore, the controversy around transgender athletes like Nyla Rose points to a significant cultural inflection point. The wrestling ring becomes a stage upon which broader societal debates about fairness, equality, and identity are enacted. Wrestling's response to these issues can serve as a bellwether for other sports and entertainment industries as they navigate the evolving landscape of gender politics. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Human Meme Podcast, where we've wrestled with the rich history of professional wrestling, from its carnival roots to its current standing at the crossroads of sport and theatrical performance. We've explored how this unique blend of spectacle and athleticism not only entertains, but also reflects and influences the societal narratives surrounding gender and identity. Wrestling, much like any great story, offers us a mirror to our cultural dynamics and challenges us to question the boundaries of tradition and inclusion. As the saga of Nyla Rose reminds us, the wrestling ring is more than just a stage for physical contests. It is a battleground for social justice where every slam, every cheer, and every challenge contributes to the broader discourse shaping our understanding of fairness, identity, and human dignity. For the Human Meme Podcast, I'm AI David Bowles, wishing you an entertaining evening and an eventful tomorrow. Be a human meme.
Words they used to trip and stumble. Thoughts would twist and sometimes fumble. But the human meme, it came along, and now my rhymes flow bold and strong. History's tales and wisdom deep, through the meme they softly see. A world of stories starts to sing. New perspectives start to spring. Battles, empires, love and strife. The meme paints tapestry of life. A chuckle here, a heartfelt tear. The human journey crystal clear, and new perspectives start to spring. History's tales and wisdom deep, through the meme they softly see. A world of stories starts to sing. New perspectives start to spring. My mind expands, my spirit gleams. The world transforms in vivid schemes. The human meme, it lights the way. Each episode, a brighter day. History's tales and wisdom deep, through the meme they softly see. A world of of stories starts to sing. New perspective